All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We got a big one. We got a banger. We got some great information coming our way in terms of Rocket Racing. Yes, you can see on the screen right behind me, Rocket Racing times or X Unreal Editor for Fortnite. Rocket Racing, all of its models are now in the Unreal Engine for Fortnite. That means custom maps. That means community maps. That means the community that's been begging for this now has it. I knew it was going to come eventually, and it's here. It's here. It released today, and it's going to be awesome. I've dabbled a little bit. I have no prior experience with UEFN until 36 hours ago. So if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Now, this UEFN is not available for console players. It's just on PC. I think it might be on mobile. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that, but it is for PC. So let's take a gander and let's watch this video that it came with here. So let's take a look. Look at all those hazards. Just drop them in. Look at this. Create your own tracks. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Gosh, it's so cool. It's so cool. You get that apple in there. Get the hazards out of here. Look at that. 3-4 boost pads that only one's going to trigger. It's going to be brilliant stuff. Now, I don't know when you're going to actually be able to play people's maps. I imagine it's going to come with like Season 1, so you got like a little bit of time to work on your maps. If you want to create a map that looks like the one behind us, that will take quite some time to create. But yeah, I mean, this is a game changer for Rocket Racing, really. It opens up so much content. So much content's going to be opened up here. So they have a little press release. Let's dive into the press release here. I got so many tabs open. This is just a little press release. It's the exact same thing as what we just looked at basically in the video. It just breaks down everything that we saw in terms of you can do a competitive track, you can do a speed run track. You can put the hazards in, you can put the players in, all that kind of stuff. This documentation, though, here is the dev document, and this is probably what you guys will need in order to get started if you have no prior UEFN experience like I did. So this is something that I had a hard time finding myself, and someone in our stream today hooked me up, sent me the link, and I will put the link in the description for you guys down below, so you guys can get started. It gives you everything you need to know about jumping into UEFN to make a racetrack. So let's jump in ourselves. We're going to create a little new one. I'm going to walk you through the ins and outs. Very basic, high-level stuff on what you can do to make a little track. So let's just pull that up here. UEFN, where to go? I had it somewhere. All right, so here we are. When this pops up, this is what it's going to look like. It's not going to have any music in the background. You guys can hear that right now because Fortnite's running. You can just hit done here, and now we're going to have the options. If you have any projects, I have this YouTube vid project that I just did because I recorded this whole video without any audio. So I was just talking to literally myself. But what you do is you go down to Island Templates. You have the option to create a competitive racetrack or a speed run track. We're going to go competitive track, and we're going to call this Redo. And we're going to hit create. And so it's going to create, it's going to drop us in to a completely barren map. It's got some waters, excuse me. It's got some water and whatnot, but it's just a little island. You'll see in a second. And if you are jumping into UEFN for the first time, this is what it looks like. I'm not going to go over any details of what we're looking at here on UEFN. It's just going to be a high level. If you want to just get in, build a track, you can do that for sure. Anything else, I'll have to either have a different video for. Again, I'm not an expert. There's tons of stuff out there on the internet if you want to check that out. So this is what you spawn into. You got your 12 player spawns here. You have a couple checkpoints, and you have this long strip of road. If you want to move your camera around like this, just hold your right click, WASD to move, and now we're moving. We're moving, and we're in the world. If you get in, your camera's super slow, you have this ability here to speed up your camera. You can put it to 8 is what I like to have it on, so you can move around your map really quickly. But if not, you do you. It's all up to you. So you have this whole space to work with, and of course you have your track here. So in order to change our track, we're just going to click on our track. And one thing you need to know to bring up is you need to make sure that you have your style editing on your screen somewhere. That's just a window, much like this viewport. It's going to be another window. You're going to double click a green button and your style editor is going to come out, and you can dock this anywhere you want. I'm going to dock it on the side here, and I'm going to make it quite a bit smaller. But the dock is going to have, like you can see here, location, rotation, scale, all that kind of stuff. It's all going to be there, but I'm going to close this down to this size so that way we can see everything that's happening on the track here. You have some options in terms of how you want to maneuver this track. And in order to create your track, you're just going to drag this track out or drag it one way or the other way. Always is recommended to start at the start line and not at the back. So start here and work your way out and around, and yes. So basically you have a couple perspectives. You have what you see right now while you're looking through your camera, or you can go top down, which we're going to do right now because it's easy to see. And basically all the things you're going to interact with are these like green dots or squares. So if we want to make our track extend out to the right, we're just going to make like a little oval here, and we're going to extend out to the right. You're just going to grab this and extend it out to the right. Now, if you want to add another point in which you can do things to, you're just going to right click and add a spline point here. So now we have a point that we can maneuver in whichever way we want. If we want to move it this way or that way. If you ever make a mistake, just hit Control Z. So one thing to note, we have a couple things we can grab here. We can have select objects, which just allows us to select objects. We have our select and translate objects, which again, if you click on a spline point, it allows you to move it up, down, or the other way. You can't see up right now because it's top down. And then we have rotate, which will allow us to make corners. So if we want to click this and we want to make a corner, or something to that effect. Maybe it's not going to work here. Again, I'm new at this, so I don't know what I'm doing. But here, I think it should work. Yeah, there we go. So boom, making a corner. And then you might say it looks a little weird. That's okay, we'll just drag it out and drag it around, kind of like this. Out and around, out and around. But if you're like, oh man, that's kind of weird there, I'm going to put a spline point here, and I'm going to rotate around this point. Kind of like that. We're going to grab this, and then we're just going to move it down, or you can just grab right here and you can move it any direction you want. Maybe move it this way, out this way. So now we have our first corner. And again, we're just going to make an oval. So we're just going to go right around. We're going to drag this out a little bit. We're going to add a spline point. Go to rotate. Rotate this around. Go back. Grab our point here. And we're just going to move it around like this. Maybe we'll move it like this. And we'll put a spline point here so that we can just kind of rotate it around this point. Just give it a little bit, kind of gradual, kind of bend in the road. And we'll grab this and we'll move this down like this. Something like this. Maybe we want to go in a little bit and then bring ourselves back out. Let's do that. It's kind of like a kind of curve down here on the straight. So we can do this here, and we can just bend it like that, and then bring this guy out. Something like this. Right, but if we want to make sure that like this, at a spline point here, we want to bring this, bend it in, so we can bend it in like that. So if you ever want to make some modifications to your track, just put a spline point in, and then just move it out to get you a little bit of kind of more what you want. Pretty simple, straightforward. Nothing too crazy. If I can figure it out, you can definitely figure it out, right? I was looking over here because normally that's where chat is, but we're not chatting right now. We are literally just talking to myself. So let's just complete our oval here. We want to just bring this sucker out. We're going to rotate it a little bit. Hit this at a spline point. We're going to bring this out. Kind of like this. And then we're going to make this round. And then we're going to come together here in a second. Maybe we'll rotate this. And bring this down here. And then we're gonna put a spline point in. We're just gonna drag this sucker out. See, we're just gonna move this out like this, and up, and here. But then we're gonna also give it some rotation, so that way it doesn't look so strange in terms of that corner. Move this out kind of like that. Bring this around. Put a spline point here. And then we will bring this guy right around, down, and he's going to connect in here. So in order to make this connect, we just want to make sure we're on our racetrack. We're going to hit device, and we're going to make it loop. And now we're all looped in. So now let's just kind of tidy this up. Let's put a spline point here, drag this out. And let's just kind of just make this a little more, something a little less crazy. Right? So now we have our classic little oval kind of track with a little bend in it. Something like that. And then if you want to change what the style of the track is, you can click this. You can click a piece, and it's going to be between here and here. You go to track, and if you want to put a little, it's gone. It's gone. It's just disappeared. Let's bring that back. Is this going to make it a tube? It is going to make it a tube, but we've lost. So let's see if we can just extend this out. Can we extend? Can we bring this together? Not sure what's happened here. Or why that's happened. Maybe it's because the piece that we're trying to work with is too small. Potentially. But we're just going to control Z back there. So let's try here. Let's try with this. Let's just add a little banking through here. We'll bank it. No, it's going to cut itself off. So this section is too short. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to do things to the track. So like this section, I'm sure we'll probably be able to make a tube. Oh. Okay. All right, we've made a tunnel through that section. And say you want to make like a big bank corner here. We can change it from our perspective down to here. And we want to make this a banked corner. We can grab this, go to our rotation, and we're just going to make this banked. We're going to grab this, and we're going to do the same thing. Make it banked. Grab this, and we're going to make this banked as well, but we're going to even it out. And then this, we're just going to bank it just a touch so that it flows into that corner. And then we can add some maybe we go and we make it sort of like this. Make this like this. Maybe make this like this. Something like that. And if you say, oh, I don't like the way that this section looks, and you want it to look something more like that, so that it's a skinny section, so you have some barriers on the side, or you know what I mean, some hazard section, something like that. You can do that. So there, we made our first track. If we wanted to add something like a boost pad to the strip here, we can just go down to our content drawer. So bottom left, content drawer. We're going to hit that button, and we're going to go to devices, and this is where you're going to find your rocket racing devices. So you have boost pad, checkpoint, your competitive race manager, your EMP, position starts, racetrack. We're going to put a boost pad. So we're just going to drag that on to the map here. And we're just going to rotate it around. Right, like that. Boom. So now we have a boost pad. Done. I don't know if it's actually on the track or not, but let's just see what it looks like. Looks like it should be fine. It's not completely flush. We can worry about that later, but it's on the track as best as we can. So now we have, if you want to add a hazard, same thing. You're going to grab this RR EMP volume. Spawns a Rocket Racing EMP volume hazard that can be configured. We'll just grab that and we'll put it somewhere like that. And then on the right side here, you can change the shape. So if we want to make it into a sphere, we can do that. And then we can change the position. And it's going to be like way up in the air. Boom, just like that. Right, so you want to go see it, we can go see it. It's just a little tiny sphere. If you want to make it bigger, you can click on it, and we can go to this here, which is scale. And we can make it bigger. Or smaller. Or wider. And plumper. And larger. There we go. So there, now we have a hazard on the track. And now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have these 2 checkpoints. You need to make sure you have 2 checkpoints in order for the race to work. And you need to have 12 starting positions. So let's just, right now this is going to teleport us back to the start. We don't want it to teleport us. So if we just click on it, we can see the position here, teleport enabled, no, start line, yes, it's the start and finish line. And we have to go to this here checkpoint, which you can see, it says next checkpoints is this one. And this one will say checkpoint 2. So this is checkpoint 1 and this is checkpoint 2. You can see that all in the top right there. And that's kind of it. Our track's done. Should we jump in, take a gander, do a little run of it? I think we should. Let's jump on in. Let's launch session is what you got to do up here. I already have Fortnite open, so it should just launch us in. We just got to save the selected, and we should launch right in. So when that happens, we'll do like oh, validation failed. Okay, so let's see what happened here. More than one RR checkpoint is marked as the starting line. Okay, all right. So that means there's something that's marked as the starting line. So let's clear this, close this, and it must be this is the start line. All right, cool. So this is the start finish line. This is just a checkpoint now. So let us try again. Let's launch again. We're going to have to save that because we've just changed that. And now it's going to initialize. Matchmaking is a good sign. Initializing. Preparing project for upload. We're uploading. And in Fortnite, we should be loading into your edit session. So this is super cool. We should be able to drive the car with rocket racing mechanics, rocket racing, whatever you want to call it, in Fortnite now. And this is pretty awesome. So we built that map. It only took us maybe like 20 minutes. 20 minutes to build that little one. We got to add some other checkpoints and stuff like that if we want it to be like any sort of actual map. But I just wanted to come in, show you. It's really exciting. We're just loading in right now, so it's just preparing at the moment. Once we log in, we'll be all good. So I just wanted to jump in, do a quick video. Huge announcement, you know, rocket racing, UEFN support, custom maps. We'll be doing a lot of stuff here on this channel with custom maps because why not? They're awesome. And I got a lot of ideas floating around in my head. So if you're liking this, make sure to hit that like button on the video while I have you here, because I'm sure you want to see what it looks like. Make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to always use the supporter code BlairZ in the shop Really helps us out. Really helps us out. So yeah, like the video. Use Blair's Ed in the shop. Get into our Discord, because that's where a lot of things happen. And that's where you get notified. But we're in. This is our map that we created. Let's start. All right, so a little bit of a hiccup here. We're going to have to fly around this. There we go. Because it doesn't think that, yeah, I need to change that. But our hazard is here. Our boost is here. And our track is here. Look at that nice corner that we made. Through the tunnel. This is a very nice flowy track. Wow. Look at that flow we got. Oh my goodness, it feels so good through there. But super simple. But I think you can probably see how you can really make this into something special. With a little bit of time, patience. Look at that section through there. That feels wonderful. What a track we made. What an absolute great track. And across the line. And then it's going to log us into... we're going to drop in, and we're going to be a little human here. And we can fly around our map, check things out. You can also edit from this view, but that's not the goal of this video for today. If you want to end your session and go back to your UEFN, you just have to, you can go to your UEFN, and you can exit the session, and it will close. Over here, you just return to lobby. But if you are editing from that screen that I just showed you, it will automatically appear here. So like this checkpoint needs to be after. So like here, we could just move this actually. So like we said, we had that mistake. We're just going to move this checkpoint. We're just going to move it to the other side, something like that. And that's going to fix our problem that we had right at the start of that race. So that's kind of everything for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. A little quick look at UEFN for rocket racing, what it looks like when you could build a track. Ours is kind of cool, flows pretty nicely. It's cool. It's cool. I'm really excited. So I hope you guys stay tuned for more to come on this aspect of rocket racing. So until next time, as always, please stay safe. Peace.